Now, big homes, big estates, but big money troubles. England's blue bloods are feeling the economic squeeze, even though Britain is recovering. RT's Tessa Cilia met one breadline earl.
When one speaks of the British aristocracy, the traditional landed gentry or noblemen, one would imagine lavish lifestyles and grand estates, as it would have been centuries ago. But the reality today is not quite up to par as it would have been in the past.
I'm on what we call here the job seekers allowance, so I have to support this married couple on a single man's allowance. So each of us gets £5 a day, my wife and I.
This isn't what one would expect to hear from an earl, heir apparent to the Marquisate of Aylesbury. The estate has been in the family for 1,000 years, but he's now in a fierce legal battle with his estate's trustees, with no access to his money.
I have no money to heat this house. There is no hot water in this house. So when my wife and I want to wash, we go down to the public baths in Marlborough.
The Financial Times reports high court cases of beneficiaries challenging trusts doubled from 2010 to 2012, coinciding with the financial crisis.
The cost of looking after a large house is staggering on a yearly basis.
This stately home in Norfolk was built in the late 19th century, and while much of the estate remains intact, parts of it have been left to wreck and ruin, and restoring it to its full glory could cost up to £3 million. Add to that gas, electricity, water, maintenance, the list goes on. Around 60% of British historic homes are now open to the public and used for various purposes, such as weddings, conferences, and tours, and this one in particular used to be used as a wedding venue. Now, the reason for such diversifications is to be able to generate some income for properties that are very expensive to keep going.
The reality is that the cost of maintaining these houses is so great now. The aristocracy tend to be very asset-rich but cash-poor.
Something that holds very true for this earl. Even finding a job didn't quite work out for him.
Well, because there is great unemployment because of the Great Recession in England. I don't have many skills that I can sell. I can, of course, drive, so I've had a few part-time jobs as a driver, delivery driver, van driver, lorry driver. I don't know what my peers think. They must think. I shudder to think what they must think of what's going on.
Do you care?
Yes.
And it seems a title can only mean so much when cash is still king. Tessa Cilia, RT.